Hello everyone, this is Erik, the Asian movie enthusiast, and this is my review of Shark Skin Man and Peach Hip Girl, a Japanese genre bender from 1998 that stars Tadanobu Asano. Now, it was directed by Katsuhito Ishii, who has a very interesting filmography of unusual projects. Now, I previously reviewed Smuggler on this channel, which he directed. I very much enjoyed that one. He also co-directed Funky Forest, The First Contact, which I reviewed fairly recently. So now it's time to take a look at Shark Skin Man and Peach Hip Girl. Now we have a yakuza soldier named Kuroo, played by Tadanobu Asano, who is on the run for his life after stealing from his boss Tanuki. No, he's not a raccoon. During a chase through a forest, Tanuki's car is struck by an SUV. Enter Toshiko, played by Shie Kohi-nata, who is also on the run. So she's trying to escape from her twisted uncle Michio, who manages the hotel where she works and who has developed a controlling sexual obsession with her. So she needs to get out of there. So during the crash, Toshiko is knocked unconscious and Kuroo is able to escape with her in tow. The couple are then chased across Japan by a large cast of gun-crazy deadpan gang members, dressed in over-the-top high-end fashion. And they are also being followed by Yamada, an amateur hitman. So yeah, things are getting crazy. Now, the first time I saw this film years ago, I thought it was okay. It was okay. I think the genre description at the time was action comedy. This is not an action comedy, okay, in a traditional sense. And that was my problem the first time I watched it. I was expecting that. Because of that, it will subvert your expectations, which could be a bad thing if you go into it expecting a common treatment of those genres. You might expect, there's going to be a big gangster shootout, and there's going to be a bunch of wacky comedy, and then a big gangster shootout, etc. That's not how this film works, all right? If I had to describe this, I would say that it's a getaway road trip comedy drama thriller or something like that, okay? Kind of hard to describe. Now, after multiple viewings, I have come to appreciate Shark Skin Man and Peach Hip Girl. I think it's legitimately entertaining. One thing you need to understand, though, before watching it, is that the script writing relies heavily on dialogue. This is a dialogue-driven film. All right, there are a lot of conversations between the various members of this ensemble cast, all the while conflicts are brewing and playing out. All right, this movie in a nutshell is essentially a series of amusing little conversations and interactions. I feel like I need to repeat that. All right, this movie is essentially a series of amusing little conversations and interactions, but I think it works. One big positive is that the story is very fluid, and it develops in ways that are difficult to predict. As I see more movies over time, I tend to appreciate stuff that's a little bit different. And Shark Skin Man and Peach Hip Girl, it's a little bit different from your usual movie, okay? As one example, there's a scene in a bathroom. You think it's going to be this huge scene, right? Between Tadanobu Asano and another hitman. But it turns out to be just kind of interesting. It has ramifications throughout the rest of the film, but it's not what you would expect coming into that scene. It's like a perfect example of what will annoy some viewers, but will entertain other viewers. Okay? It's all about the character interaction in this. And if you reach that point in the movie, say the bathroom scene, and you're like not feeling it, you're in trouble with this one. Okay? You may just want to turn it off. At that point, it's going to win you or lose you at that point, all right? But I think that, I don't know, it's just a little bit different and I like it. Now, pacing is a little bit on the slow side. Practically no action set pieces at all. But there are a few bursts of bloody violence, a few bursts of it. There are a lot of sharp edits in this movie, which I really liked, because they infer things that happen off screen, or they place the viewer off balance. And that's kind of the editing in this movie is like deceptively great, in my opinion. It's really neat, and if you're into the film, you're really going to appreciate it. Now, I love watching Tadanobu Asano's earlier performances. Frequently, he starred in some very creative, oddball movies, even more so early in his career. He had like a very youthful, magnetic screen presence I'm really drawn to. His acting style is very subdued, but expressive at the same time. That's what makes him such a great actor. And that's also true in this film. I love him in this. The supporting cast is good too. Fans of contemporary Japanese cinema will recognize some faces here. Now, early on, there's a montage scene. It's like the big montage scene at the beginning. It shows you all of the main cast. Very energetic scene. And it's a fun opening credits sequence. If you've seen the recent Indonesian film, The Big Four by Timo Tjahjanto, it's similar to the ending credits of that scene. It really is. Now, most of this movie does take place in a forest environment. It's not a big budget movie by any means, so they probably did that to save money. But it works, though, because it's very atmospheric. The film was nicely shot, and you could tell that some of the film was shot during the cooler months of the year. There's certain scenes where you can see the breath coming out of the actors. So it's all part of the atmosphere. I liked it. Now, Katsuhito Ishii's films, very difficult to describe. They really are. If you haven't seen his films before, they're just tough to describe. Reviewing this film is kind of challenging, but if you're in the mood for watching a man and a woman on the run with a group of quirky criminals on their tail, just check it out. Just check it out, really. The recently released Blu-ray looks very good, actually. Seems like a really good transfer. And it's included in the Third Window Films Katsuhito Ishii box set, which includes a few other movies that I'm going to review soon. So I do recommend this. And as always, folks, I'll see you next time.